Hello and welcome back. My name is Jennifer and I make stuff. And today I'm gonna color my hair green. I know that I did actually color my hair green in a video not too long ago, but the thing is, I felt like that kind of green, it was actually a little bit too green. And today I'm gonna try to see if I can achieve the look of a Viridian green ombre on my hair. If you're not familiar with, or if you're unsure what Viridian green is, you maybe are familiar with these guys. That's the kind of aesthetics we're going for. Deep green, but it has this undertone of this blue shade to it. That's the difference between the green that I had before and the green that I'm trying to achieve now. And as you can see, when I have had the conditioners mixed in with some semi-permanent colors, I have actually used the turquoise that I have at home because I was running out of all the green, and I also felt that the green faded out much faster and the blue stayed much better. So these are pretty much basically turquoise. So I have a blue base to start with. So hopefully that blue is going to make the green that I'm going to apply have a bluish undertone. So we're going to have to see what this is going to look like. Hopefully this is going to achieve that kind of Viridian green aesthetics, that mysterious, dark, witchy, magical look. Yeah, this is going to be exciting. So I'm going to take a shower now using just the pre-color shampoo by Directions, which is going to help the color stick to the hair much better. And after that, we're going to color my hair. So as you can see on my hair, and the fact that my face is red right now, I have showered my hair now with the pre-color shampoo, and the pre-color shampoo makes the hair feel a little bit more dry, but this is supposed to just help the pigment stick much better and help the hair absorb the colors and all that. In the instructions it says that you're supposed to have your hair towel dry, but I feel like I need my hair to be a little bit drier than that for the pigments to stick much better. So it's all up to what you feel works best for you and what gives you the best result. That's all that matters. So I'm going to let my hair dry for, I don't know, 20 minutes or half an hour. In the meantime, I just want to show you some of the tools that I'm going to use for this. So this is basically what the setup looks like, or where I have all my tools for coloring my hair in these kind of vibrant shades. Here I have the pigments that I'm going to use. So I have the Alpine Green and I have the Ebony, and these both are by Directions. And I have here on my bathroom sink here, I have a towel that has been used before for hair coloring, so that's why it has been stained, and it also has been used when I have bleached my hair, so it has been bleached in some spots. But I just want to use a towel that I don't worry about getting any pigments on. It's better to use something that you are not that worried about. I find it much easier to add the pigments or the semi-permanent hair dyes into kind of a plastic container. And these are not the ones that you have for working with these vibrant hair dyes. These are actually those kind of takeaway containers, but they are perfect for these kind of uses, so that's why I have kept them. So I have two of these black ones. And then I have these kind of hair dyeing brushes that is going to help me with applying all the pigments. And then to put my hair up in layers or sections, I just have these plastic hair clips. Nothing special, nothing complicated, just regular hair clips. And these are perfect for me to just put my hair up in sections. And when I dye my hair, I always work from the back to the front because I find that much easier for me to apply the pigments. Also, I don't worry about how the pigments is applied in the back because those areas or those layers are going to be covered up by all the other strands of hair. So that's why I work from the back to the front and top of the head. And I find it much easier to get a nicer application to the hair strands that is in the front. Especially those are the areas that you're going to see the most. These are all the tools that I'm going to use for this, so it's going to be very simple. And obviously I have these two vinyl gloves because you don't want any pigments on your hands. Otherwise your hands are going to be completely green for a couple of days until the pigment is completely washed off. Yeah, that's all the tools I'm going to use, and now I'm just going to let my hair dry a bit and then I'm going to start coloring my hair. So my hair has dried now for approximately 20 minutes and I feel it's dry enough now. It's not that wet anymore, it's more damp. And I also brought in my studio light here, so it's going to be a much better lighting in here, so you're going to see much better when I'm applying the hair dye, especially in the back. So I'm going to have my face towards the mirror obviously, but I'm going to first have you standing here so you can see when I'm applying it in the back, and then I'm going to probably move the camera so you can see when I'm working on the front. So you're going to see that I'm going to open and close these doors here on the cabinet that I have here, because it actually has mirrors on the inside and the front, and the reason why I have these two open like this, if I look in one of these mirrors I can actually see what's happening in the back side. So when I'm working on the back of my hair I'm going to have these open, but when I'm working on the front these ones are going to be closed. So you're going to see once in a while that I'm going to open and close these doors. That's just so I can have a better look at a different angle, so I have a better idea of what it's going to look like. It's a little bit difficult still when it's reversed in looking in a mirror, so sometimes when I want to apply it feels a little bit awkward to try and get the brush in the areas it's supposed to be in, but after a while I can figure it out, and you're going to notice that I'm going to go back and forth between doing the brush and then just dipping my fingers in the dye and applying it. Especially when I'm working on the back, I find it easier to just use my fingers like this to apply the dye, especially when I'm working on the roots. You're going to see a little bit of a motion between back and forth of the brush and my fingers. Now I'm going to work on the back, and I have my hair up now in the first. I'm not worried about the sections, the thickness of the sections or anything like that. If I try to get as much dye as possible, I usually can work in the dyes, so it's going to cut off the majority of all the hairs in there, so I won't have a bald spot where I missed some dye. Yeah, I'm going to start working now with applying the black to the back and then just working layers, pulling some hair down and working some sections until I get to the front. Alright, so I've gotten like a third down now on my hair, as you can see, and I don't know if I want to go. I'm gonna try and do a little bit more, so I'm gonna go a little bit further down, so maybe I get to 40% of the length. In the past I have gone too short with the deeper tones in the roots and some of the length, so I felt like the hair was a little bit too bright. And I also have this kind of plan in mind. After I've applied the black into the roots and a bit further down the length, I think I'm just gonna rub in the darker green all over the hair, so the black will have a shine of this green in different lights but still have that deeper tone to it. I feel like that is going to make it look more blended in much better. I'm gonna try that. I'm just gonna continue adding the black now. So the back side is now done with all of the black. I might go over with some more black in the length if I feel like it's too little black. If I'm not used to that, my hair is so long now. And I notice now that I have my hair up in the remaining hair that is left, it looks like I'm trying to be a green-haired member of the flock of seagulls or something. I know it looks very crazy, but this is just quick and easy way to put my hair up when I'm doing these sections. I know they're not perfect sections, but I have done this so many times that I know some techniques that work for me to get the kind of effect that I'm going for, and especially when I'm working with just two shades. And the fact that they can blend in so good together that it's not going to be that distracting if it's not 100% a perfect application of the colors, so I'm not that worried about it. So now I actually, all of the black that I put here went to all the parts in the back, so I went up all the way here. I think the majority of the parts that I have left now can I do actually right in front of the mirror as it is now, with the doors closed, so I don't have to look on the back and the sides. And then the easiest part is going to be the green. Probably just add a green all over the hair, like I said, even the parts where I have applied the black dye. And also, when it comes to my actual bangs that I have here, they're like this long now. I think I'm just going to add some black in the roots, because I feel that my bangs are not long enough, so I might just go roots and maybe down here, not further than that. So I'm going to have green bangs but darker roots, but the rest is going to have this kind of ombre effect. I realized the easiest way for me to do this is if I section out the bangs, so I don't have to worry about getting too much of the black onto the bangs. So I'm gonna section out all of the bangs. Alright, I have checked in the mirror and it seems like I have gotten everything on this side all the way to the back here. And you can see that I have made sure that I only got on some black in the roots around my bangs. And you can see that I have tried to go over with the black a little bit further out, so I can hopefully get that kind of ombre effect I'm going for and have a little bit more of that deeper tone instead of just being a lot of green. So I have applied all of the black now into the roots and a little bit out to the length, and I don't think that I want to add anything more of the black. I think it might be overpowering if I add too much black also, as much as it can be too green if I haven't gotten enough of the black. I have pretty much gotten all of the black that I wanted, and I still have some black left in the jar here, so I can save this one for another time when I want to reapply the hair dye and brighten up and enhance the colors and all that. Scoop some of the leftovers and then just work getting it in, focusing on having all of the dye and the roots, and then just loosen the pressure when I go out to enhance the fade effect. So that's it. Now I can move on to the next one where I'm going to use the green. And wow, I hope you can see it in the camera, because if you see the stained color that is in this foil here, it actually has a blue tint to it. So when I see the pigments in the jar, it also has that kind of bluish green. Here it looks more green, but here it has that blue tint. So it means that this dye actually has that blue undertone. In the jar it actually looks very close to Viridian green. So yeah, this is going to be really exciting. I think it's going to look amazing. I have a clean brush here. Doesn't really matter how many scoops. I have another jar also, and this is going to cover up my entire hair, so it's not going to be that much of an issue if I use more of the pigment. I'm gonna start with this, but I think that I'm obviously going to need much more dye, especially since I want to apply the dye in the black areas also. Let's start adding the green. So I'm gonna do some simple sections here, but I'm going to do some sectioning, but this time majority is going to be with my hands, maybe a little bit using the brush just to apply the paint, but then I work it in with my fingers. Just gonna see and find out. But I don't worry about getting all the green in all the way up to the roots. I just want some of the green blending in a lot more with the black, so it isn't stark black in some areas. I just want the blackest parts to be in the roots and then fade into more of that green out here. In the lights you can see the green here, but in other lights it might look like the entire hair is getting black now, but it's just because it's such a deep green. After I have washed off the excess dye, it's going to look more like a dark green instead of black. But it's obviously going to look very dark now when it's all wet. You can also use a comb to help making sure that the color gets to all of the tiny hair strands. So sometimes it just gets in clumps when you're just working with your hands. So using a comb is going to help the pigments get all over the hair. I try to work first from the length and then work up. That's just to make sure that I know that I have only had my hands on the green pigments when I'm going over the ends. Yeah, so I'm gonna continue. Just applying some of the green into the black here. As you can see, I'm still waiting on the bangs. I'm going to do them as the last part because I want to make sure that they will only get the green that I'm going to apply to the parts that have the turquoise, because I don't want any more black hair strands. This is also the reason why I use Vaseline, because you can see that I have gotten a lot of the hair dye on my ears and around the scalp and all that, but some might stain, but at least the worst of the dye is going to be removed since I have the Vaseline there. Trying to work in all the green as much as I can to all the parts where I have applied the black. Like I said, I'm not worrying about a perfect application here, I just want a tint of a green shade to all the black. Then I can go over the length with the green again just to make sure that it's saturated with all of the pigments. Alright, now I'm gonna do the bangs. And I'm just going to use my fingers for this. I'm working from the out in. So that's it. Now the entire hair has this kind of green tint. Even some of the black has the green, but they are hopefully going to give the illusion of some deeper tones in up here and then fade out to the kind of bluish green, that Viridian green that I'm going for. So it might look like the entire hair is just black now, but I don't know, it might be a little bit hard to see if it's... Yeah, if I look close in the mirror I can see that it's green, but it's very dark, so it's definitely going to give me a dark green. Now I'm going to put my hair up in a plastic bag and a towel, so the hair dye won't dry out, because that's going to... I think if it dries out it might increase the risk that the pigments will fall off much faster, but if you keep it moisturized it's going to be absorbed much better and it's going to keep its vibrancy much longer. At least what I think. I think I've heard it's something like that. And that's it. That's all that I'm going to do for now, and I'm going to let it sit for maybe an hour. Since this is just moisturizing pigments like a conditioner, it's not going to be damaging for the hair, so you can keep it as long as you would like. And the longer you keep it in the hair, the brighter the colors are going to be and the more vibrant they're going to be. I'm just gonna clean up the mess here and then I'll get back to you when I wash the excess dye off and what it looks like dry. So this is the next day, so I just wanted to show you what it looks like the day after I have actually dyed my hair with the semi-permanent hair dye. And I'm right now standing in front of the door of my balcony, so I have direct sunlight on my hair, so you can see what the shade looks like in natural daylight without any artificial lights. I was a little bit worried yesterday and today when I woke up and saw what my hair looked like in the bathroom, because the lights in my bathroom made my hair look completely black. It didn't reflect any of the green in my hair. But when I stand here now with the sunlight direct to my hair, you can see a tint of the green, I think. You can see it much more in my bangs that I didn't add as much black to. But obviously we can see that I have a lot of black here and then it fades into green in the length. I'm gonna try and turn on my flashlight on my phone, see if we can see some of the green. You can see sort of a shine of that kind of deep green shade. Because I do know that the hair dyes, they are very dark at the first application and then it starts to get much lighter and brighter after a few washes. So right now it might look like it's a very dark, almost black green. You see a little bit of green showing through there. So I think best way for me to show you an accurate representation of what the hair color looks like. I mean, you can see definitely that it's more green on my bangs here. So I think I'm going to have to wait a couple of days so I can wash off the first layer of the hair dye so it isn't as dark, so it's less dye in the hair. And then hopefully the color looks more green than it does now. I think it would have been better if I had mixed in 50-50 with the green and the black instead of having straight black, because I tried to go over the black with a little bit of green, but I think was already so dark black that the green didn't really show up that much and it didn't really set, I think. So it's very dark. Maybe it has a little bit of a tint of the green, but I think it would have been more of a very dark green if I had just mixed in the black with the green and then left the length with only the green hair dye. So that's one thing to remember the next time I'm doing this, but I think I'm going to let my hair have maybe one more wash. So I'm gonna wait a couple of days and then I'm gonna wash my hair, and then I'm going to do some deep conditioner with some of the green dye. So I'm going to have it as a hair mask in my entire hair. So it's going to give it a tint of that green all over the hair, and then I'm going to see if it's going to leave my hair looking more green than it does now. Now it looks very dark, almost black. Looks more like a black with a greenish hue to it. Instead of a blue black, it looks like a green black. So I'm gonna have to wait and see what it looks like. So I'll see you in a couple of days. So this is the finished hair after a couple of days. Like I said, I did wait a couple of days so I could actually wash off the excess hair dye and go over the hair one more time with some leave-in conditioner mixed in with the Alpine Green hair dye, so I could maybe get more of that green tone all over instead of having that intense dark in the roots. And yes, I know my makeup looks very extreme right now, but that's because I'm in the process of recording another video, which is either going to be uploaded before this video or after this one. Just so you know, this is not the kind of look I was going for with this hair, but the reason also why I wanted my hair to be this green color is because of the other video that I'm recording. So I wanted to make sure that I had a good looking green hair for those sequences that I was going to record. Yep, so this is the final hair and it looks more green now, and I'm very happy right now with the result. So yeah, I hope you really enjoyed the process of me creating this Viridian green ombre. From dark green here in the roots and fading out to more of that Alpine green or Viridian green. And if you're going to do this style, remember to not use just the straight black hair dye. Mix in the green with the black so you will have a softer gradient from up here with the roots and fading into the green. So yeah, have that in mind if you're going to do this ombre. Yeah, that's it for this video and I'll see you in the next one.